Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the Ushakov Soviet super battleship here. And hold your shot, hold. This is really important. Hold, everybody, wait for the broadside. Pop your F key and collect the dev strike. Look at this dispersion. 30% better dispersion is absolutely ridiculous. Poor tier 9s. Not exactly fair that they have to fight against this. But Ushakov brings us 142,000 HP, some of the best armor in the game, and dispersion rivaling that of even Satsuma F-Key. That one gives 35% better dispersion. Ushakov's is 30. It's right there with it. We also get the Soviet dispersion curve, meaning at closer ranges, we just simply have better... Look at that dispersion. I mean, come on. That's a battleship? Are we serious? If you want a brawler that just gives you dev strikes, this is the ship for you. It's not necessarily a secondary brawler. I will say I did try to run some full secondary for you. Don't worry, we'll be getting into that soon. But this is mainly a tank mid-range battleship that can give you dev strikes when the F key is active. Otherwise, these guns are the same as Kremlin, okay? Same alpha damage, same pen, same dispersion. These are the exact same guns as we get on Kremlin. So not really an upgrade there unless we're activating that F key. This ship sounds insane though, because that F key we can get pretty easily off of a few main battery hits and getting into these closer ranges. I mean, I'm showing broadside on to a admittedly tier 9 battleship, and we're not taking citadels. The armor here is absolutely ridiculous. It's a bit angled and it's so thick that most battleships, even at 10 kilometers, aren't gonna pen and actually get citadels. Though that was quite a lot of damage. And into our upper belt, cue this Maine salvo, we are going to take a lot of damage as well from full pens. So, Ushakov, torps, and some full pens to your broadside are going to be a bit of a challenge. Keep it angled, however. Stick yourself behind islands so the torps can't get at you. And that is 142,000 of HP that the enemies need to work through. All the while, not being able to pen your deck armor, not being able to pen your upper belt with HE, anything like that. The moment you make a mistake and go broadside, even at long range, this is traditionally where these Soviet battleships struggle, with an F key. I mean, just look at that dispersion. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. 17 kilometers away Conqueror loses 50,000 HP, just like that. Without this F key, we're not getting that dispersion, obviously. But at closer ranges, Soviet dispersion is just better. So we don't have it active here for this Vermont walking around the corner, but that's okay. That's where the ship originally shines. That's where this line is just good. So we still have that advantage here. This is a... Oh, 48k salvo. Who needs the F key at close range? So maybe you charge up your F key, you wait for the perfect salvo, or you hold it for these broadsides at longer ranges. So really just a bigger Kremlin, same guns, with a funny button that lets you delete someone every once in a while. There are a few other differences though. Our rudder shift is so much worse. It is well over 20 seconds, where Kremlin's is around 16 seconds. Small difference there because they both don't turn particularly well, but it is notable. Notice that dispersion without F key compared to the next salvo, where definitely we are going to use that F key. But we have to wait for him to show the cheek. Patience is required when using a ship like this one. The torp belt is actually quite a bit worse here, only 36%. That's why we ate so much damage from those torpedoes. This ship, when pushing, will eat a lot of damage from torps, so you have to watch out for that. You can burn through your HP pretty quick. Can't heal from that. I mean... It's just so fun to look at. Anyways, continuing on, Kremlin has a 46% torp protection. Interesting to take a look at, certainly. This ship, though, will have a bit larger superstructure, I suppose, than Kremlin. Usually that's not a huge deal, but just look at how much damage we're about to eat here. That was a 26k salvo, that was a 20k salvo, and that was another, okay, 2,000. Okay, a little more reasonable on that last one. We lost nearly 50k HP, just like that. And we're still having nearly 100,000 HP left over, so very tanky still, but you can eat some damage in this one angled. I do think that was particularly unlucky, I would say, at 20 kilometers. I don't want to blame RNG for everything, but we can say that that was a little bit unfortunate. Shimakaze on our flank, very scary. We got to get to this island here. And yes, in this one, we are running full secondary build. Now, let me talk about the title of this video. A budget Sibir. I've spent the entire time talking about this ship versus Kremlin, as you would expect, right? We're dealing with the next tier up after Kremlin, and it is a much better version of Kremlin. Very fun to use this F key. Sibir, though, has basically the same F key, the combat instructions, 20% better dispersion on Sibir. Sure, we get 30% here, plus 10% range, which is nice with Soviet dispersion curve, pushes out that changeover point. But 20% is still great. Sibir is an absolute monster. Sibir gets pretty consistently 2 salvos, where we're only getting 1 salvo. Sibir also charges up via secondary hits, which is a lot easier than main battery hits. Sure, you're not getting that at max range, but it's not too hard to get into brawling ranges with either one of these ships. They're quite tanky. Ushakov just simply gets less activations of its F key compared to Sibir, and they have similar impact in that regard. Sibir also gets somewhat better toolkit at closer ranges, all of the healing up front. Here we have to wait the cooldown to get to our heals, just like Kremlin would have to normally, as well as Sibir gets that little better torp protection that we find on Kremlin, up over 40% there. It's a little bit sluggish too with Ushakov, I will say. I've played quite a bit of Kremlin, I've played some Sibir, and with prop mod, it accelerates incredibly quickly, as well as just maneuvers around islands very, very nicely. Ushakov here, I found takes forever to slow down and start reversing and then speed up. This throttle juking idea that I so often use on my Soviet battleships, it's quite absent here, I guess I would say. It's not as good on this one. It still can work, but it is not as good. This one's a lot slower feeling. In a turn, it also loses a ton of speed as well. So not sure what the propulsion differences are there, or just the overall size of this one, but didn't feel quite as good in those scenarios. But again, by no means is it a bad tank, okay? Absolutely ridiculous amount of HP and armor to get through. Sure, we're not throttle juking as easily, but we have so much health they have to burn through. It's very difficult to have an Ushakov that pushes like this. Unless, of course, it pushes out and eats torpedoes, as we might do here. As for running this meme secondary build in this one, it's not too much of a meme, I guess. We still have, at 10 kilometers, 52,000 hitting DPM. That's like Schlieffen level, by the way. I mean, Sibir is up at 72,000 hitting DPM, so quite a bit higher. Neither one of these, though, pen very much armor. It's all about hitting and getting fires. We have Smolensk turrets here, by the way. Yeah, and eating torpedoes. I should not have pushed forward here. We are going to go down. But I want to point out the battle impact we've had here. Decent amount of damage, not insane for an Ushakov, a ship of this power level. But notice how the enemy team basically only killed us this game, and that's it. Our team got control of the rest of the battle. Nearly 50k damage, though, out of those secondaries and fires in that one. That's with the full build, mind you. But still, it's very interesting to run the full secondary build here with Smolensk turrets. You're effectively getting 1.5 Smolensks per side, assuming you're firing all of your secondaries, like a 35-degree angle, which, considering Ushakov's armor layout, I am going to greed for it against this Kurfürst at 5 kilometers. So we're showing enough broadside that a normal battleship would be getting citadeled here. This is nowhere near auto bounce angles. GK just simply won't get through. I mean, it's just ridiculous amounts of armor on this thing. So a slow push here, and then lighting a ton of fires. Because again, Smolensk guns, although it is an 8% fire chance versus the 10% fire chance on Sibir. Sibir secondaries are better. They have better dispersion. We just have standard battleship dispersion. We simply just have volume of fire with the standard secondary dispersion, allowing us to actually get a lot of hits. So what then if we played more of a hybrid build like I'm doing here? I would not recommend you run a secondary build. I had to, though, because the secondary change and Smolensk turrets, right? I had to try it. It's not what I would recommend, though. Run Sibir if you want to go full secondary, that kind of thing. This ship, much better played at medium ranges because, again, torpedoes, we're eating those. Only 6,000 on the bow. Torp protection, 8,000. Yeah, saturated bow takes less than our torp belt does, actually. That's kind of interesting. I would run a build like this, maybe. Don't run any secondary range upgrades. Make sure you're going for main gun accuracy, because even without having that F key, we still want to be able to pinpoint those citadels. Angled Commissar, pinpointing that stern section. Again, we don't have our F key active for this very juicy broadside Satsuma. 50,000, nearly 60,000 HP. That's fine. We'll just still get 4 out of 6 citadels. We want that dispersion buff, okay? That is the main feature of this ship. The synergy also is with the F key. It's based on main battery hits and a minor amount of potential damage, but that's not consequential for actually getting to the buff. It's about main battery hits. So buffing our dispersion, buffing our main battery reload means more activations, which of course is our primary buff over Kremlin. Outside of the HP pool, the guns being the same means that this F key is the reason this ship is a super ship. That doesn't mean we can't run a hybrid build. We can still go for some secondaries. In this one, I am simply giving up concealment. The ship has worse concealment even yet than Kremlin. You're spotted very easily, so running a full conceal build, it's good, but when we're trying to push in here, I don't find we're getting as much of advantage. So I'm trying to convince myself that this is okay. It's still worse than just running a normal tank build, okay? But I think it's fun to try and get some of the secondaries going when you have small turrets. So 8-kilometer secondary range is the base range with the secondary flag, which you probably should be running, and then just running manual secondaries. Everything else is towards tanking, surviving, and our main gun accuracy. And yet we still managed to get over 200 secondary hits in this one. That's the key here with Ushakov. This isn't a German battleship where we get smashed just by pushing in for free to our superstructure. There are outliers, like the previous match where we ate like 50k instantly, but that's an outlier. Normally that's not going to happen, okay? And again, in this one, we got like 30k out of those secondaries. Not quite as good, but only 3 fires on 200 hits. I mean, come on. A little better RNG there, and that is giving us a lot of extra damage. Though I suppose it didn't, and, well, that's maybe why this ship feels like a budget Sibir. You have worse matchmaker, and your ship is just not as good as Sibir in this role of push up, get your F key charged up, and then dev strike enemy ships that go broadside onto you. Sibir is just more capable in that role. At its best, Ushakov is going to be better. The ship does have better dispersion, 1.8 Sigma versus the 1.7 on Sibir, and the 30% buff versus only the 20% buff. But given how easy it is for Sibir to farm up that buff, it's a lot faster to gain. And crucially, we get 2 salvos out of it. You can just spam it on Sibir is the general feeling I get, where with Ushakov, I was really holding it for those perfect opportunities. We're going to watch this Iowa one again because it's just so beautiful. Poor tier 9s. Okay, let me get that out there. But 70k, it's just beautiful. I love these accurate gimmicks. I really, really love this kind of thing. So I had a lot of fun playing Ushakov still, but I just couldn't help feel a bit like, Sibir, I don't have to constantly be thinking about, can I get this F key charged? Am I wasting this F key in this moment? Because I know I'm not going to get access to another crazy accurate salvo for another 3 or 4 salvos, more than likely. Where with Sibir, I'm just going to use it, especially when you're within secondary range. You use it, you get 2 salvos, and right after you send out that second salvo, well, your secondaries are already ticking up towards your next buffed dispersion, and that F key can charge within your reload time. So at close range, Sibir is just always 20% more accurate. Well, not quite, but that's ideal scenarios. Ushakov gets nowhere near this. So in this situation, we find Brindisi angled, Satsuma angled to use your F key. What about this Minotaur that pops up that is about to turn flat broadside on? It's only 24,000 HP. Are you going to use it there? I elected not to, thinking that we're going to get decent enough dispersion to do some damage. He cancels his turn, not the best dispersion, though here I was using secondary build, so not getting the full accuracy. This is another helpful point about running a build that focuses around the F key. It just totally dwarfs your standard dispersion upgrades, right? 7% dispersion. It's not that impactful when 30% dispersion. I held it for this, okay? This is what I held it for. Maybe not the best idea. Satsuma didn't have to do this, of course. But this is what we hold these for, and this is why Ushakov is still so fun. 30% is definitely better than 20% on Sibir. So we're not getting quite as many absurd dev strikes like I have so far in this video. But it's a little easier to farm that one up and a little easier to play, I would say. You don't have to deal with super ships matchmaker all the time. Tier 10s do have to deal with it, of course, sometimes. And Sibir gets the unlimited amount of healing up front. You don't have to wait cooldown, so a little easier to use. Of course, it's also a special ship at tier 10, so it doesn't have the cost of playing, which super ships are pretty expensive. Spamming Ushakov games, you run low on credits pretty quickly. Like, this ship is very, very, very good. Buff over Kremlin for sure. Just having access to something that lets you get an insanely accurate salvo out of a ship with so much tankiness, a ship that is so difficult to take down. It's crazy. It's crazy. Think about Satsuma and how vulnerable its broadside is. It's not good in a brawl. We were able to massively dev strike, or almost dev strike a couple of them in this video already. This ship and its tankiness, accessing that level of dispersion is very, 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 very fun. And I think it's more enjoyable a lot of times when you get to brawl. That's not always going to be the case. For our live game here, as you can tell, we unfortunately got ourselves a small game. This is a bit of a downside as well when it comes to playing at this super ships tier. There's not a lot of people playing at this tier, shall we say. And you're going to have that happen every once in a while where it's just a smaller match. Combined with the economy, it makes sense why people don't play these quite so much. It is too bad, though, that we get these smaller matches. Already decent damage, though, to start with. I hope my team will help me out here. We need some spotting. Our Yamagiri is eating one of those torps. That's too bad. What we do have now, though, by the way, is our F key charged. Ooh. Awami, I don't think, is going to give us the broadside. Yamagiri is pushing. So, what do we know about destroyers who are pushing in? We need to help them. We definitely need to help them. Wonder if Edgar will push out again. We'll see. Ah, it's Holland over there. Sure. Hannover pushing, and we're going to see... Oh, yes, sir. Stop. We will use it there, definitely. Oh, he did stop. Guys, he stopped. I mean, come on. Come on. We're a brawling battleship, and we're just smashing on cooldown. You know, there's just something about it. There's just something about it, brother. Let's accelerate. I mean, we're going to eat Holland torps. These are going to do a lot of damage, though. They're a Wami. Let's aim there. Holland torps will be hurting us at some point. Oh, we do dodge it. Nice. We're a little sluggish, though, I will say. We're kind of ignoring the Hannover. Up to 114,000 damage in this one. We're got 100k HP left, guys. Look at this. We got a lot of teammates here, though, so that's a big part of it as well. There they are. I'm going to eat all of these, unfortunately. I knew I had to accelerate and turn, but I'm not here in time. So, how much do we eat? Yeah, that's quite a bit. Can I avoid some of it? Yeah, a little bit. Oh, and then a Wami, second round. Oh, man. Brutal. Torps are brutal, guys. I'll try and make sure I only eat one. Hello, team. I am requesting assistance. At least we have Kuzi. We do have Kuzi access. That was really nice. Broadside on to a Wami. Yeah, only 4,000. We get a nice 20k hit into him. And... Guys, why is my radar cruiser back here? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We have pushed in. We have done our job. Likely, we will win this game. Likely, we will win this game. However, I think we do end up dying here to Holland torps. I have no idea where those torps potentially are going to come from. Yamagiri thinks he's down south. Indeed, he is. All right, cool. 2,000 now from the Iwami, sure. Wait, he's broadside. You know what that means? Let's damage control as well. Come on, another? I mean, come on. I mean, how are we alive? How are we living these? And, okay, well, that is the Ushakov experience, guys, in a nutshell. Sure, we're getting a little bit of value out of those secondaries. It's fun when we get within 8 kilometers, but we die quickly to torp. This is a perfect example. It's unfortunately a small game, but it's a great example of this ship's experience where it takes a lot to take you down. The torps are killer. Holland torps not known for their alpha damage, and yet we're just such a big, clumsy ship that, yeah, we're eating those torps no matter what. We're caught in a crossfire. That's a downside. It doesn't eat much damage when broadside onto battleships somehow. Like, Hannover was hardly doing any damage to us, even though we were over-angled, so we were going to eat hits there. get to our next heal. That's nice. And we have dev struck 2 ships in this battle so far. I mean, okay. Sibir is a very, very good ship too, okay? Is it quite as accurate? I don't know. Oh, and we dodged that? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Great. 2 million potential damage. I'll actually get another heal. We'll talk about the build soon, but I do really enjoy getting the extra healing out of the 2 million potential damage one. It's very easy to get in a ship like this one. And there's Holland. Great. We definitely want to be helping out on that one. And we had a decent team in this one. It is a small game, okay? Small games are a little odd. There's the high cal. Love to see it. Leading for DDs, Kremlin guns have always been quite fast, so it's not too bad to do that. But only 9 guns, no upgrading caliber, pen, anything like that over Kremlin means that without that F key, it just doesn't feel like much of an upgrade at all. But fortunately, that F key is absolutely filthy. Oh, I was going to say, I thought we were going to lose some progress here, but no, we're actually going to keep our progress because of the potential damage. That's its use. Having the potential damage here on this ship for its F key, it's 0.1% per 2,000 potential damage. Not a lot. It's just there to retain progress, and it's very valuable as a result to have that. There he is. He'll try to shoot at us, and dispersion looks great, even without F key. Even without F key. Great dispersion at close range is the Soviet gimmick. So having the F key is basically saying, we're great at close range, here's a little extra something to let you get the dev strikes at long range. And that is one of the somewhat frustrating elements, I guess, about playing Soviet battleships, is they are very inconsistent at long range. Usually, they're supposed to be. I know we've all been there, where the Soviet battleship randomly gets the perfect dispersion to dev strike us angled, because they have a lot of overmatch at mid-tiers and that. Usually that's not supposed to happen. But this ship can do it with access to its F key. Here's the build that I liked running. I tried to greed for a defense and ASW expert, but given how much damage I've been eating throughout this video with vigilance, yeah, it's required. Vigilance is required. Even in this last game, I took vigilance and we still ate quite a bit to those Holland torpedoes. It just doesn't move very much, and the torp protection 42% with vigilance, without it quite a bit less. Now, you should probably just run conceal, not this secondary thing. But I figure I'm spotted anyway. The ship is just so massive. I'm spotted anyway. Give me the funny little secondaries at closer ranges. It's just for me. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that build though. Here, definitely go main guns. Even if you're trying to go for some secondaries, this is a bit like with the Sibir build. I went with main battery reload over secondary reload. Just because you're getting more value out of the F key. With Sibir, you get 2 salvos. It's very difficult to get 2 salvos out of this one. Doesn't last quite long enough. I suppose you could try something with close quarters combat Furious and maybe get there. That feels a little too all in to me on it. And realistically, given how long it takes to farm up this skill compared to the Sibir, generally we're saving it for that perfect Shirley opportunity. Going aiming systems here. I still like propulsion mod here, even with prop mod. It does feel very sluggish, so we definitely want that to try and accelerate to dodge torps sometimes. I like the enhanced damage control party. Pretty basic otherwise. Here's your armor layout. If you've ever wondered why going broadside on, this ship does not eat citadels, well, 425, 450 here, and it's angled, right? You can see that it's sloped down like this. It's not like a flat plate like this one is. So adding to the armor thickness. And then it's spaced armor too. There's a giant void in here, which we all know results in a lot of torp protection hits or whatever, shatters. And then it's 70 behind this. You're looking over 500 or just below 500 mil. Angled, by the way. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely ridiculous armor. So you can afford to over angle this thing and you don't eat too much. Superstructure, just by being very massive ship, it's pretty small looking on this ship, but the ship is gigantic. So it's still a pretty large superstructure, as you saw. In theory, we proved it that you can eat 50k off spawn at 20 kilometers with this thing. It's not usually going to happen, but that is technically possible. Though for me, I usually am just going to go, I'm just going to go play Sibir if I want this kind of F key play style, partially because super ships don't get played that much, long queues, small games, bad economy. I don't like the meta quite so much. Tier 10 is already passive enough. Super ships is typically even worse, so even harder to push in. And this one is just so much more spammable, so you're getting access to that so much sooner. Sibir is pretty hilarious. You guys know that. If you don't, check out some of the videos on it. The ship is absolutely wild. Ushakov gives you that if you don't want to spend the money, because Sibir is quite expensive. 26k doubloons with the coupon just below 20,000 doubloons. Quite expensive still. This is the budget, it feels weird to say, budget Sibir experience perhaps, though much better played not as a secondary build. Play it at 15 kilometers, use the F key, that kind of thing. Play it more standard like Kremlin and you'll do a lot better. I just love the brawling element and wanted to see if I can make it work too in this video. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching and have a great rest of your day.